Hey guys, so I'm a huge horror fan, and lately I've been thinking a lot about what really terrifies me in a horror movie. And one huge thing that always gets me is an empty frame. This is basically a shot where you can't see the ghost or monster or whatever it is, but you know for a fact it's there and it's staring straight at you. There's a ton of ways and levels that this is used in horror films, but I wanted to talk about some of my favorite instances. One of my absolute favorite instances, and overall just one of my favorite horror movies, is The Invisible Man from 2020.
He has figured out a way to be invisible. You know exactly what I'm talking about. He's not dead.
This movie is amazing. As you can probably guess, this is a remake of the classic Invisible Man movie, which isn't a ghost story, but centers around a man that was actually able to make himself invisible.
He's here! The Invisible Man!
And look, I was not expecting this movie to be anywhere near as good as it is. With Hollywood's track record of remakes, I thought it would be okay at best. No, it is really good. And this movie is filled with empty shots. One of my favorites is the scene of this chair where you can see a visible imprint of someone sitting there. And honestly, a majority of this movie is comprised of those type of shots, because when you're making a movie about an invisible guy, you don't really have a lot to work with.
There's someone sitting in that chair. See it? Look at it. It's him. I know it is.
So this movie really relies on building the tension through setting and shots to really make the viewer scared of essentially nothing.
Sid, come on, girl. You're gonna be late.
The whole movie, you're just not sure if he's actually in a shot or not. The character could be completely alone and safe, but you just don't know. And I love that. Another film that does this really well is Hereditary.
Why did you try to kill me?
I did! I was trying to save you!
Try to kill me.
One of the most horrifying films I've ever seen, Ari Aster just has a knack for creating an incredibly uneasy environment. Empty frames, traumatic family experiences, old people. This one's got it all. But we're just going to be talking about one of those today. Hereditary uses empty frames in a way that works so well that sometimes it feels like the shot could be of literally anything and it would be horrifying. There are times in this movie where the camera pans off somewhere and you fully expect something to happen, but it just doesn't. And that makes it so much more horrifying. It's that slow wait, knowing that something's there, but it's just not revealing itself, that makes these moments so much scarier. Now, the last one I want to talk about is almost entirely these types of shots, and that's made it kind of controversial. Skinamarink. Now, I'm not comparing any of these movies to each other, and I definitely get the feelings people have about this movie. I personally think the movie had some flaws, but I loved it overall. You can check out my video on it if you want to know more of my thoughts about the movie, but right now I just want to talk about its use of empty frames. The film is almost entirely still empty shots of this dark house. And for someone that gets really unsettled by just an eerie ambiance, it really got me. So that's why I can totally understand that if you're someone that doesn't get unsettled by these things and it doesn't really affect you, then you'd probably hate Skinamarink because it is all that. But God, this shit gets me. Skinamarink is one of those movies that had so many shots that were just dark, it made me afraid of the dark again. And the way they made the movie look like it was filmed on old analog cameras, getting all staticky and low quality in the darkness, really worked with these empty shots to make you feel like you could almost make out something in the darkness. I love these shots. There's something about not knowing where the scary thing you're afraid of is in that exact moment that makes these moments just so much scarier. I actually got the inspiration for making this video from watching the movie Come Play the other day, which I definitely wouldn't hold at the same tier as these other movies, but it really got me thinking about these shots. On that note, if you liked the video, do absolutely nothing to that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments if you know of any other great instances of the empty frame. Like actually, cause I need more of this. Thanks for watching. See ya.